Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Yay! Is that better?
Yeah.
It's like the fireworks in my neighborhood. Even tonight, it sounded like a war zone.
I feel like the whole week that it's just been like for 5 days straight. They've been
crazy.
It was really bad on New Year's.
Oh my God, it was insane. But my neighborhood hasn't stopped.
Yeah, ours hasn't either.
I mean, all year round.
She won't. When she hears them, she can't eat, and she won't eat.
I feel so okay. So on that Nextdoor app,
we've had, God!
But I love the ones that are like, it's not fireworks, it's gunshots. I'm like, it's fireworks, but
I guess
there were some gunshots. Yeah. I told Hannah that night, I'm like, that's gunshots. There's a clear difference between gunshots and fireworks. Yeah. They definitely sound different.
I like how we went from really good wine
to $3.99
to our Moscato.
Oh, can I have more? Is it gone?
There's more in this.
Yeah,
that's funny. But what were you saying about?
I forgot what I was saying now.
About the fireworks in your neighborhood?
They are, first of all, constantly going off all year round. But I feel bad for there's people when it's not New Year's or 4th of July.
Right.
And they're just all year round. And people are like, I'm a retired vet and I have PTSD. And I understand like people wanting to do this during special holidays.
Yeah.
And I can prepare for that.
4th of July and New Year's? Mm-hmm. Cool. But every other day?
It's very hard for people who have PTSD who are in a war and have to hear, I mean, they literally are freaking out hearing that. And even on New Year's, when I was going to bed, I'm like, can you imagine how in some countries this sound is a normal way of life? Yeah.
It's their life. Yeah, I can't even imagine. But then having dogs, like Shorty.
Poor dogs.
She has the worst, and she's always had the worst anxiety when it comes to fireworks.
And the dogs that run away because of hearing them.
She shakes and shakes and shakes. Mm-hmm. So I gave her some CBD oil.
Oh, good.
That doesn't really help her.
Oh.
She had the worst night. And so then they really, of course, like on the stroke of midnight, like they went
insane.
They were already insane in our neighborhood.
Oh, I mean, it was like never ending.
Yeah.
Boo, boo,
I mean, we got a good light show. I'm not gonna.
Oh, I saw nothing.
No,
but it sounded like
it was kind of beautiful, but at the same time, I can't imagine.
Nothing. But it sounded like they were throwing them in my backyard, and I kept telling Hannah, I kept going out to look, and I didn't see anything because I want to see lights.
When we finally did go to, can I just tell you? So at the stroke of midnight, Albert had already fallen asleep. The boys had already went home because they were worried about their dogs. It was just us and the boys because Albert made menudo. And then I could tell he was already getting tired. So like maybe like 20 minutes before midnight, like I heard him going. So that's fine. I was like, okay, I'll just wake him up and say happy, I'll wake him up with a kiss, which I did. And he was like, and trust me, like the only thing we really even had to drink that night was a little bit of whiskey in our hot cocoa. Uh-huh. And he's like, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. What? And I was like, I wanted to laugh.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And then he kind of woke up and he's like, are you still shooting fireworks? I was like, yeah.
No, that just started. It's only 8:00.
That's me. It was a minute though. It's giving me gas.
The thunder down under.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Goodbye 2020.
Oh my gosh. Hello 2021. Mm-hmm. Please be nice.
It's going to be amazing.
It will.
Everybody just has to be amazing.
I can't wait.
You know what I liked when I was watching some of the New Year's Eve special things? There was one channel that was like, it's like the Debbie Downer of channels, showing all the crap from 2021. And then I think it was NBC that was showing like funny, enlightening things. Like
that actually happened.
Yeah, there were good things that happened, and they didn't drudge up the COVID stuff and the
anti-maskers and the politics.
Nope,
And
they just did fun, like, look what this person did, and look at this, and look how funny this was. And it was like bringing it in on a positive, enlightening note.
And that's what we need. That's what we needed.
We get the COVID and the crap and the sad and the reminders as soon as you turn your TV on in the morning.
Right.
So
we don't need that.
We need a break every once in a while. We know it's there.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody is pretending it's not. I mean, I think they all have their special ways of thinking it.
Special.
It is.
Special, like church lady special.
Special.
Yeah. You're special.
So special. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
we got a special story.
We do. So we started kind of talking about it on the last episode. That lasted it was actually a whole 3 hours that we recorded, but I was able to kind of pare it down to 2.
Which I personally thought was hilarious. I even texted you and was like, that show was hilarious.
We were lit.
We were a little bit. I told Aiden, I'm like, if you haven't listened to it yet, you need to.
Did he listen to it?
He listened to it on the way home after Christmas or whatever. And he's like, I laughed the whole way.
Did he?
It was funny. Super cute.
Thanks again, Aiden.
Yeah, I told him, I'm like, I think we thanked you 100 times.
We did. I even cut out a few of the thank yous. All right, so we kind of touched on this on the last episode. I started talking about the Zodiac killer, the cipher that just got decoded.
Yeah, and we said, oh, we should do that story.
Yeah, and so I was like, why haven't we done that story? So I started looking into it.
And here we are.
Here we are.
That story.
We're gonna do it, and I think this whole episode.
Episode?
This episode.
This whole episode. Welcome. In this whole episode, we're going to be doing. You're copying my lips. That's hilarious.
Hilarious. This whole episode, we're going to be talking about the Zodiac killer.
We're going to be talking about the Zodiac killer.
Okay, Governor.
This whole episode on Masterpiece Theater. You're welcome.
You're welcome. So I actually watched the movie, The Zodiac.
And as did I. Hello.
So we have Apollo in here with us.
He's really cuddling up with me.
He wants to climb in the chair with her.
Hi. All right. This is pretty cute. He is like, okay, I'm just gonna, here we go. You come in?
Get down.
No. He actually was making my back feel good.
Oh, was he?
He's
like, I think your back hurts.
Okay. On Masterpiece Theater.
On Masterpiece. Speaking of Masterpiece Theater.
Masterpiece
Have you watched Sanditon?
The what?
Sanditon?
No.
It's pretty good.
What's it on?
It's on PBS.
Oh, no, maybe I have, because I watch a lot of those. I get sucked into them.
I think you'd know if you watched this one.
My
I don't know.
cute people on it?
Yeah. Watch it. Get back to me.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right.
Speaking of Cobra Kai
Huh?
on Netflix, totally freaking. Me and Albert spent the whole day watching the 3rd season of Cobra Kai.
I haven't heard of it.
No?
Cobra
Kai. Karate Kid?
Oh, is that what that was? I thought it was just Karate Kid, and I turned it off.
So they have 2 seasons that were out there. So we binged that, went through that right away, and then the new season just came on yesterday, and we went through that whole season.
Really?
Yeah, I think it took 5.5 hours because they're not long episodes, and there's about 10. I think there's 10 episodes.
I had put myself so much into this Zodiac thing that I had to get out of it because
Really?
that's all I was thinking. Because I watched the whole series on Hulu.
Right.
I watched the movie. Mm-hmm. And then I was watching the History Channel one.
Oh, yeah.
All the
So good.
thing. Yeah, that is good.
I like literally like was tuned in for like a lot of times I'll put something like that on and then I'll zone out. And I'll be like, oh, I got to put it on it again so I can really pay attention. And like, I was like, oh, wow, this is really intriguing.
Yeah, it was. It was really intriguing.
What?
Sometimes I wonder how much of that, like, they're like, can you look like you're thinking a little more seriously? Can you look a little more official?
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They always look super, super serious in that. Oh, you relaxed.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm going to go to sleep. Just don't fart, kid, okay?
No, it was blow us out of this room.
Did I leave that? I can't even remember if I left that in the episode.
I think you did, because we were both like, "Ugh."
Oh, it was the one right before it.
Oh, was it?
Was it that one?
I don't even remember.
They're all
God,
starting
these
to blend
dogs
together.
just fart all the time. Blow us out of here.
Anyways, okay, so yeah, we started talking about this the last time, so I was like, okay, let's do it. So this whole episode is going to be Zodiac-centric. We even have a haunting. Like, it's just like a little... Did you? What?
Oh, no. So that rabbit hole led to nowhere.
Really?
Nowhere.
Darn.
I got all excited because I was like, I kept searching and searching. There's got to be hauntings or people talking about stuff.
Right.
But no.
So when you think of the Zodiac Killer, I think of Jack the Ripper. Like the Zodiac Killer
Yes.
is our Jack the Ripper
Yes.
for this time.
Yeah, I know. And it is crazy how many... It's, you know what I was thinking while I was researching and watching, and it's almost like there's so many people that were claiming they know who it is.
Right.
That's part of their family. It's crazy to think that, well, first of all, just by the looks of him from the sketch,
Right.
he kind of does fit a lot of males back then.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even
Oh, yeah.
my dad I could say, oh, he looks just like my dad back then. The glasses, the face shape, the haircut. I mean,
It's like they all wore the same
they all looked alike.
same glasses.
Yeah.
The same kind of like
Same
crew
haircut.
cut. Yeah.
And so with that, I was like, but it was crazy how, first of all, how many people really want to believe that their loved one is the Zodiac Killer.
My dad was the Zodiac Killer.
Yes, there's a ton.
I know.
And there's so many people that they had suspected of it, and there's so many people that actually fit the evidence. It was insane. And while I was watching all that, well, I'm sure we'll talk about that.
Yeah, totally
But-
insane. And the thing is that there's such a community out there, like a internet community out there that have just dedicated all their time to trying to decipher all these codes and just try to figure out who the killer is in general, because it's
And
just
there's
left that big of a mystery.
Right. There's so many books written. It's just crazy how he had gotten away with it.
Yeah. And when you read some of the ciphers in the letters, like, he sounds so juvenile
Yes.
and like so like craved for attention. Like I don't know, it's almost like super amazing to me that he's
Able to
taken
get
up
away with
so
it.
much
Yeah.
time in the last 50 something years. Anyways, all right, so we'll get into it. The killings that are attributed to the Zodiac Killer started on December 20th, 1968, when a teenage couple, Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday, pulled into a gravel turnout off of Lake Herman Road at about 10:15. This was well known in the area as a lover's lane.
Can you imagine? Let me just, for the younger audience who may not know much about it, let's kind of set the scene. Like, this cute couple goes on a date. They go up to Lover's Lane. Every place has a Lover's Lane. And they go up there.
I think this was their first date.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I think he was a little nervous. She was more into it than him, it seemed like. Yeah, they were all just innocently going up there. It seemed like she had been being, the way the movie kind of portrayed it, didn't it look like she had felt like been being stalked by like a crazy boyfriend?
Yeah, that's the way they made it seem.
Yeah. That aside, they're up there getting ready to make out in the front seat of the car, and this car mysteriously is pulling up.
Pulls up next to them, gets out. Well, anyways, I mean, after doing how many of these stories, like, I would never ever want to go to Lover's Lane
No.
because your chances of being murdered seem to go up exponentially.
Yeah.
Utilizing available forensic data, Robert Graysmith.
Wait, we didn't get that far.
What?
We're not done.
Oh, okay.
Was that all you're saying? Well, then let's hit the whole scene.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay.
Go for it.
So they're up at Lover's Lane. Then this car pulls up. It kind of pulls up and then goes by them. Kind of intimidates them a little bit. They think they're out of the woods. It's gone. Turns around, comes back, and the guy's like, "Hey, you know."
That's actually the second murder.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not the first one?
No.
Oh, which one?
This one was before that. And they went straight into the second murder on the...
Oh,
That's how
okay.
the movie starts.
How did this one happen?
Basically the
same
same thing,
way?
but he pulls up next to them.
Oh,
And
so
then-
that's why I said she felt like she was being stalked,
Right, yeah,
because
that's
that one acted all fishy.
Yeah.
She
because
acted
he
a
pulled
little
it-
loosey-goosey.
Drives away and then he comes up
Yeah.
straight behind them and they're like...
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And so he's trying to like cut it loose. Okay, do the first one. Set that
So-
scene a little more. He comes up next to them.
Comes up next to them, just goes in and just like shoots both of them. So they didn't really get into that one.
No, they didn't.
No.
Even on the other things I did,
Yeah.
they didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
They mentioned them, but they
Because
don't
at
talk
first
about
they didn't
theirs.
associate this one with the... Because it was the very first one, so of course they're not thinking this is
They
a
didn't think
serial
it was a
killer.
serial
Yeah, they
killer,
thought
yeah.
it was completely like a robbery gone bad or something.
Right.
So after everything is said and done, utilizing the available forensic data, Robert Graysmith postulated
I'm
that...
so sorry. Did he call this one in?
No.
Okay.
No, but he claimed it when he did the second one.
Okay,
He said, that
all
was me.
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So Robert Graysmith, who is played by, oh my God, what's his name?
Robert Downey Jr.?
No. He was the
Oh,
main
he was the reporter guy, yeah.
So anyways, Robert Graysmith writes like one of the best known books called The Zodiac. And the movie The Zodiac is based off of Robert Graysmith's movie.
Wait a minute,
book.
Jake Gyllenhaal?
Jake
He played
Gyllenhaal.
that? I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah.
That's insane. I didn't recognize him. Sorry, continue.
So anyways, that's Robert Graysmith. Okay, so he postulates that another car pulled into the turnout just prior to 11 p.m. and parked beside the couple.
Is this the second one around?
No, this is the first one.
First one still?
The killer apparently exited the second car and walked toward the Rambler, possibly ordering the couple out of the Rambler. Jensen appeared to have exited the car first, yet when Faraday was halfway out, the killer apparently shot him in the head. The killer then shot Jensen 5 times in the back
That's
as she
right.
fled.
That's right.
Her body was found 28 feet from the car, and the killer then drove off. So then, the one you're thinking of, the next murder takes place the following year. It's about 6 months later. It's July 4th, so that first one was December. Darlene Farron and Michael Maggio drove into the Blue Rock Springs Park in Vallejo, about 4 miles from the Lake Herman Road murder site. They park. While they are both sitting in the car, a second car pulls up into the lot, parks next to them, but then drives away. The car returns about 10 minutes later and parks behind them. This is that one.
Yep.
The driver of this car gets out, approaches the passenger side door of Farron's car, carrying a flashlight and a 9mm Luger.
That'd be so scary.
I know. I can't even imagine.
And they're so young.
You're in a vulnerable, like, you're off the beaten path, obviously, because you want to get busy.
Right.
You're in a vulnerable... I think that's probably why a lot of these murders take place in lovers' lanes, because these people are vulnerable.
Yes.
So vulnerable.
They're prepared to get killed, so they're not.
Well, hormones are like, have completely taken over their body, so they're not thinking of other things. While flashing the light in their eyes, the killer shoots at them, firing 5 times. The killer walks away from the car, but heard Maggio moaning, so he comes back, returns, and shoots them both 2 times, each again before driving off. Maggio lives.
Yes, that's right.
So on July 5th, 1969, at 12:40 a.m.
Oh, hold on, because on the first
So that was the
one,
4th.
Okay, but on the first one, is that the one where she died and he lived a little bit in the ambulance and then died on his way to the hospital?
Possibly.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So on July 5th, which is the day after,
Yes.
at 12:40 a.m. in the Vallejo Police Department receives a call from someone claiming responsibility for the attack. So obviously, like, he can't just let it be. Somebody has to know what he did.
Well, because in the movie, they make it look like he called that night. But
I think it was pretty much that night.
Oh, 12:40 a.m. Yeah. Okay.
So during this call, the person also takes credit for the murders on Lake Herman Road. So that's when he's like, that was me too.
He wants to make sure. See, this is the thing. Like, it was almost like he wanted to get caught, and his ego is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gross.
Crazy ridiculous.
Oh, can you pause for a second on Lake Herman when we were talking about the paranormal thing?
Uh-huh.
That was where they seem to get some spirit box stuff on there, but there's not any real haunting stuff that I was getting when I got all excited.
Trying to research.
I got all excited.
I am always surprised that there's not like a backup ghost story.
Yeah.
When we're doing some of these stories.
I know.
It's just crazy to me. Especially the way
they died.
Yeah. But then that's a good thing because they went to the light and they don't look back.
And nobody's keeping them here.
Yeah. Calls traced to a phone booth at a gas station at Springs Road in Tulum.
Oh.
Located about 0.3 of a mile from Farron's home. So just down the street from Farron's actual home. So he drives all the way back. All right. So Farron was pronounced dead at the hospital.
Oh, that's the one that dies at the house. Oh, no.
Farron is the girl.
The girl. Okay.
And then Maggio survived the attack despite being shot in the face.
Because he's one of the... Okay, sorry.
The neck and the chest. This is when we get the first description describing the attacker as 26 to 30, 195 to 200 pounds, about 5 feet 8 inches tall, white male with short, light brown curly hair.
Yes.
So that's like the real... It's vague still, but it's the first description that's out there.
Yeah.
So then, that's when the first letters start coming.
Seems like he's the only one that says something about the curly hair.
Yeah, I haven't... Yeah.
Anyway.
When I wrote that down, I was like, have I heard that one before? Because even in the picture, there's not really curly hair.
No. And I even noticed that it took me a while. And I was like...
But remember, he has a flashlight in his face.
Oh, yeah. So it's hard for him. But...
Yeah. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
But it took me a while to notice because I remember hearing curly hair and then all the other stuff I was watching, nobody ever said anything
about
curly hair. And I'm like,
hair.
why did I hear something about curly? I'm making shit up.
So you probably read it. Okay, so then a few weeks later on August 1st, so that was from the beginning of July, now we're here at August 1st, 1969, 3 letters received by the Vallejo Times-Herald, the San Francisco Chronicle, and the San Francisco Examiner. The letters were nearly identical and described by a psychiatrist as someone that was brooding and isolated. The letter writer takes credit for the Lake Herman murders and the Blue Rock Springs shootings. Each letter also included 1/3 of a 408-syllable cryptogram, so each of them get a third of it.
That's right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, which the killer claimed contained his identity. The killer demanded they be printed on each paper's front page, or he would cruise, C-R-U-S-E, around all weekend, killing lone people in the night.
And that's another thing. His spelling is awful in all these.
And there's a theory out there that he misspells on purpose to make it sound like he's dumber than he actually is.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the theories that's out there. And yeah, I'll get into that. So he'll move on to kill again until I end up with a dozen people over the weekend. Yeah. All right. The Chronicle decided to publish it. It's third of the cryptogram on page 4 of the next day's edition. An article printed alongside the cryptogram quoted Jackie Stilts saying, "We're not satisfied that the letter was written by the murderer and requested the writer send a second letter with more facts to prove his identity."
Oh, well, tricky.
Yeah.
What would we do? I was thinking about that. What would I do? I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to print that shit for him and humor him.
Right.
But I'm not No.
But then he's saying, I'm going to kill more people.
And he's crazy.
Right.
So he just might.
Yeah.
So.
And he kind of...
That's not me.
Now we have 2 dogs that are probably going to be snoring in a minute here. On August 7th, 1969, another letter was received at the San Francisco Examiner with the salutation, "Dear editor, this is the Zodiac speaking." Speaking.
Yeah.
Speaking.
Writing.
This was the first time the killer had used this name for identification. This is the first time he calls himself the Zodiac.
Yeah.
The letter was a response to Chief Stilt's request for more details that would prove he had killed Faraday, Jensen, and Farron. In it, the Zodiac... Before I was only doing that to you.
See?
I don't like that.
I got goosebumps.
I kind of got annoyed on the last episode that with the, what do you call it? I cut a lot of it out when we were doing the
spirit box thing?
The spirit box. Mm-hmm. I got annoyed with it.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why I got... Because it was like taken away from the story. Because you were trying to tell a story. And it was like... Anyway.
Okay.
But it was...
That's scary.
There was some freaky stuff.
Some freaky stuff.
Some freaky stuff that it was saying. So, anyways, I might just put that up on Patreon.
Yeah.
I have to edit it a little bit more, but yeah, it gave me the creeps. I took a lot of it out. That was Shorty. She answers again.
Yeah.
All right. This was the first time. Okay. The letter was a response to Chief Stiltz's request for more details that would prove he had killed Faraday, Jensen, and Farron. In it, the Zodiac included details about the murders, which had not yet been released to the public, as well as a message to the police that when they crack this code, they will have me.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, what is that?
That's good. That's it.
We're not amped on sugar or anything. This thing is pure sugar.
Oh, yeah.
All right, but we're not as lit as we were the last time. We were so silly.
Lit.
We were silly.
We were. That was a good time.
It was a good time. Even though, like, the subject matter of my story was like, I was like, oh my God, we're so inappropriate.
I love it though when we're laughing at ourselves, and then I'm like, do other people think we're as funny as I think we are right now? Because I think we're hilarious.
As funny as two drunks can be.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Then on September 25th, I write 257th. Okay, something 1969. In September 25th. All right, Pacific Union College students Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were picnicking by, this one they showed in there, by Lake Berrycia or Barris. I don't know how to say that.
Oh, and that's another one I looked up because I thought for sure that one's got to be. That one is haunted. I might do a story, or you, or me, one of us, but it's not haunted because of this.
Really?
It's got some hauntings though, and because they say there's like a ghost town in there, or under there,
under the
something.
lake. Oh, really?
And that boats, like they'll get something pounding from underneath the water on their boat. Yeah. Oh, scary.
That just gave me goosebumps.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway.
So, Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were picnicking at Lake Berrycia on a small... I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Wait, I'm trying to look for... Can I see the word?
I don't even think I wrote it right.
Barissa.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay. On a small island connected by a sandpit to Twin Oak Bridge, a white man, about 5 feet 11 inches, weighing more than 170 pounds, with combed, greasy brown hair, approached them, wearing a black executioner's type hood. This one is creepy. Like, it's creepy.
Can you imagine you're chilling out on the lake with your guy, having a little picnic, romance, and then this guy, like at first you're like, who is that? Oh my God. Nope. Nope. It's a hooded guy.
Yeah, he's wearing like an executioner hood.
Yeah, and he had a gun at the time.
And this is the one where he has like the Zodiac symbol.
Yeah, so it's like, what the fuck is happening? Like, nope.
I can't even imagine the terror that they were going through. So, the black executioner type hood with clip-on sunglasses over the eye holes, which is weird.
Yeah.
And a bib-like device on his chest that had a white 3x3-inch cross circle symbol on it. He approached them with a gun, which Hartnell believed to be a .45. So he doesn't even use the same gun every time.
No.
The hooded man claimed to be an escaped convict from jail with the two-word name in either Colorado or Montana. A police officer later inferred that he had been referring to a jail in Deer Lodge, Montana, where he had killed a guard and subsequently stolen a car, explaining that he now needed their car and money to go to Mexico, as the vehicle he had been driving was too hot.
Oh.
He made Shepard tie up Hartnell, and then he tied her up with plastic clothesline that was like cut specifically in it was already cut in pieces. He noticed that Shepard had tied Hartnell's hands loosely.
Because she was scared.
Yeah. Well, and she was probably like, please get out of this
Yeah.
and save me.
Yeah.
Hartnell, who lives initially, believed that this was a robbery, but that the man pulled out a knife and stabs them both repeatedly. Hartnell was stabbed 6 times and Shepard 10. The killer then goes back to their car that was back up by Knoxville Road, and he drew the cross circle symbol on the Hartnell's car door with black felt tip pen and wrote beneath that Vallejo /12-20-68 7-4-69 September 27th 69 6:30 by knife. And there's pictures all over. And if you saw the movie,
I saw it.
Yeah. Again, because he has a need to draw attention to himself and what he's done, he called the Napa County Sheriff's Office from a payphone to report his crime. He states to the operator that he wished to report a double murder. Detectives were able to lift a palm print so fresh that they had to artificially dry it so that they could lift it off of the phone. Someone nearby hears the screams as well. They're out fishing on the lake, and while he was fishing, so he ends up calling the park rangers. Cecilia Shepard was conscious when the deputy Dave Collins arrived and provided a detailed description of the attacker. She ends up dying 2 weeks later, but Hartnell survived to recount this tale to the press.
So
and I think he's the one that
sad.
takes off out of town. He doesn't want to have anything to do with it after a while.
I don't blame him.
2 weeks later, on October 11th, 1669, wow, we're going back in time. 1969, a white male passenger entered the cab driven by Paul Stein. Okay, so this is in San Francisco. At the intersection of Mason and Geary Streets, 1 block west of Union Square in San Francisco, requesting to be taken to Washington and Maple Streets. So I've never been to San Francisco.
Is this the taxi?
but
Is this the taxi cab?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so then he requests to be
yes.
taken to Washington and Maple Streets in Presidio Heights, which is a pretty well-off neighborhood. For reasons unknown, Stein drives a block past Maple to Cherry Street. This is when the passenger shoots Stein in the head with a 9mm. He took Stein's wallet and car keys and tears a section of Stein's blood-stained shirt tail. He is seen by 3 teenagers across the street at 9:55 p.m. and they're watching it in progress while they're calling the police and reporting it.
Totally watching him wipe stuff down.
Yeah.
Cut the shirt. They didn't know what he was doing when he went to the driver's side, but that's what he was doing. He was getting pieces of the
And
shirt
wiping his
and wiping stuff down.
things down.
And taking the keys.
And a wallet. Yeah. So, and then the crazy part about this, and then they did portray this in the movie too. So when the bolo first goes out,
Yes.
it goes out
gosh.
as a black man.
This happens often, though. Misinformation goes to 911. I've called 911 before, and they've scrambled up my whole transmission.
Yeah.
And it's like, I never said any of that.
Right.
I said this, because I always, if I'm calling it, I don't usually call 911, I call non-emergency, but I always give very matter-of-fact information. How do you mess that up?
Right.
I'm not nervous, I'm not yelling, I'm not screaming, I'm very clear, precise. How do you fuck that up?
Yeah.
But they do. They
Right.
fuck it up often.
I mean, they're human.
And they have high-stress jobs.
Right.
It's not an easy job. Now, if you have somebody who's freaking out, that's when I can see it happening. Or if you have multiple callers calling too. But they just had these guys.
There's 3 kids.
Yeah.
Like,
and they're
I
probably
can
like,
imagine.
oh, he looks like this. Oh, tell him this. Tell him
But they
that.
corrected it. But not
They
in
did correct
time.
it.
Not in time because they think that he walked directly past 2 police officers. Okay. The dispatch first goes out to describe the suspect as a black male, but this gets corrected. However, not before 2 patrol officers observe a white male walking away from the crime scene on the sidewalk east of Jackson Street. The encounter lasts only 5 seconds, but they move on not questioning him because they think they are looking for a black male.
And he kind of just like sneaks off into the park and disappears.
Yeah, and by the time they realize and they go look for him, they can't find him.
He went into the park.
So Officer Fuke was, I hope I'm saying that right. It's Fouke, describes the pedestrian, he's one of the 2 officers, to be 35 to 45 years old, 5'10", with crew cut, similar to but slightly older than the description of the teenagers who had observed the killer in and out of Stein's cab as a 25 to 30-year-old crew cut white male about 5'8" to 5'9" tall. By the time they realize the mistake and they start searching, it's too late. He's gotten away. Because this didn't follow the original MO, the murder was first thought to be a robbery gone wrong. But true to form, a letter was received by the San Francisco Chronicle from the Zodiac containing a piece of Stein's bloody shirt where he takes credit.
And how, that is so planned out.
Right.
He knew he was going to shoot the guy. He wanted a piece of his clothing because he knew what he was going to do.
Right.
That's insane.
Right.
But is it smart? Is he highly intelligent because he could plan that far ahead and know exactly what he was going to do? Or is he just that insane? Both?
It just sounds like he's insane.
He's not dumb.
He sounds super needy.
He's not
sounds
dumb.
So, he's just attention starved. He needs some sort of recognition.
Yeah, but I hate to give him credit.
Yeah.
I'd much rather say there's no smart criminal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not dumb.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Ho-hum.
All right, so the 3 teen witnesses, so after they get this bloody shirt, they're like, oh shit, this is a Zodiac killer. So then they go back and they get a sketch from these teen witnesses. And they have a police artist prepare a composite sketch of Stein's killer a few days later. And this is where they get that good sketch that you see all the time of him with the glasses and whatever. Detectives Bill Armstrong and Dave Toschi.
That's me that just whispered. That's not
something going on in our.
Yeah.
I feel like we explain that a lot. We get a lot
have
of
to
EVPs.
Because we do get EVPs.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
I'll usually be sending them to Carlene.
Yeah.
While I'm editing, and then I'll sometimes leave them in there. But once I've done all of my running it through
that was my throat.
all the sound stuff, I don't think it really translates over. After everything's smoothed out, you can't really hear it as much. So.
No, because I play mine. I play it on that louder speaker, and I can't hear it usually. I'm not paying attention.
Crazy. I think I might just put together our greatest hits of EVPs that we've gotten over the last year.
Let's do it.
Because it seems like over the last year we've gotten a lot.
A good handful of EVPs. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So detectives Bill Armstrong and Dave Toschi, who were also portrayed in the movie, were assigned to the case. The San Francisco Police Department investigated an estimated 2,500 suspects over a period of years. This is the last known murder linked to the Zodiac killer. However, he continued to write letters for several years taunting the police. On October 14th, 1969, the Chronicle received another letter from the Zodiac, this time containing a swatch of Paul Stein's shirt tail as proof he was the killer, which he's pretty much already asserted. It also contained a threat about killing school children. He writes, just shoot out the front tire and then pick off the kiddies as they are bouncing out. So this sets off the whole city on watch because everybody's worried that he's going to find a school bus and take out a bunch of kids.
Original footage. If you get on YouTube, you see original footage of the police cars and the parents and the kids, and he threw everybody up in crazy town over that. And the sheriff would just follow the buses around, and parents were picking their own kids up and probably other people's kids up.
And then he writes another letter taunting them, pretty much saying, if you believe I was going to pick off kids, you deserve a bullet in your head or whatever. Something to that effect. And it was just wow. He just had everything. Everybody just
he was
on
in control.
Red alert.
And he knew it.
He knew it. He was getting so much attention from this.
Mm-hmm.
Then October 20th, 1969, the Zodiac calls the Oakland Police Department demanding that one of two prominent lawyers, and they portray this in the movie as well, F. Lee Bailey or Melvin Belly, appear on AM San Francisco, a talk show on KGO TV hosted by Jim Dunbar. Belly did appear on the show. Dunbar appealed to the viewers to keep the lines open. Eventually, someone claiming to be the Zodiac called, which was really weird. And I'm wondering if that's the actual recording that they played.
I wonder.
I meant to look that up, but I didn't. But if it is, they have like
His voice.
All right. Several times said that his name was Sam. Belly agreed to meet him in Daly City, but no one arrived. So, and that was also portrayed in the movie. I thought they did pretty good in the movie.
They did. They kept it pretty true to facts. I mean, you can't dramatize that anymore.
Yeah. It was a good movie. It was pretty, it was like an all-star cast, and me and Albert watched it the other night. I was like, I know we watched this movie before, but why don't I remember all these details? Like, he's like, you fell asleep or something, which happens.
Yeah.
So, if you watch that movie, The Zodiac, Robert Downey Jr. plays the Chronicle reporter Paul Avery, Jake Gyllenhaal plays young Robert Graysmith, and Mark Ruffalo plays Detective Dave Toschi. On November 8th, 1969, the Zodiac mailed a card with another cryptogram consisting of 340 characters. This cipher was dubbed the Z340. So all these ciphers had like different names, especially the ones that they couldn't decipher back then. Yeah. This is the one we started talking about on the last episode. And now 51 years later, it's been solved. I think it was like December 5th by an international team of private citizens. This is like talking about this community of people that just are like...
Which is crazy.
It is
and
crazy.
How do they know they got it right? Because there were other people that thought they got it and it wasn't
I think because of the language in it too. I don't know.
maybe.
There is so many ciphers out there. There's like a few others that haven't been completely deciphered.
Yeah, I guess all the 340 ones, they haven't gotten a complete... They've gotten some of it, and those weren't right. This one, he got the whole thing. Because I watched his Australian interview. Did you watch it? He did a whole interview in Australia. He must be from Australia.
Yeah, there's three guys. One of them's from Australia, one's from the U.S., and the other one's from, I think he's from Germany or something.
Yeah, I watched the Australia guy, and he was talking about how they figured it out. It was very interesting.
Sam Blake, that's Australian. He's a mathematician.
Yes.
And then it's David Orenchek, a software engineer from the U.S., and then Gerald Van Eyck, a computer programmer from Belgium.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. Like, people spend so much... But that's just that whole puzzle thing. Like, we want to...
Figure it out.
We have to come up with the answer. So it's like...
I'm glad they did, but at the same time, it doesn't tell you a damn thing.
Right.
It didn't say... He said if they figured it out, his name would be in it. Was his name in it?
No, that's not the one with the name.
They said his name would be in that one.
I don't think it was that one. I think it's a different one. So they submit their findings to the FBI. The FBI states that the decoded message gave no further clues to the identity of the Zodiac, which, I mean, I read it on the last one. It was, like I said, kind of like, meh, meh, meh.
Yeah.
Like,
it was childish.
It was super
I'm
childish.
having fun or something like that.
So ridiculous.
And there's no clues.
Maybe pull it up and then
Okay.
we'll read it again. So the Zodiac continued to communicate with authorities for the remainder of 1970 via letters, greeting cards to the press. In a letter postmarked April 20th, 1970, the Zodiac wrote, "My name is blank," followed by a 13-character cipher. This is the one. The Zodiac went on to state that he was not responsible for the recent bombings of a police station in San Francisco. I like that he needs to point that out.
Right.
It wasn't me. Referring to the February 18th, 1970 death of Sergeant Brian McDonnell 2 days after the bombing at Park Station in Golden Gate Park, but added there is more glory to killing a cop than a kid, CID, because a cop can shoot back. The letter included a diagram of a bomb the Zodiac claimed he would use to blow up a school bus. At the bottom of the diagram, he wrote Zodiac Killer symbol .svg equals 10. So, Zodiac, his symbol.
Oh, okay.
10 San Francisco PD SFPD equals 0.
Oh,
So
that's right. Because he
was keeping score.
And because he was claiming all these others that he didn't. Okay.
All right. So Zodiac sent a greeting card postmarked April 28th, 1970 to the Chronicle, written on a card that says, "I hope you enjoy yourselves when I have my blast," followed by the Zodiac's cross-circle signature. On the back of the card, the Zodiac threatened to use the bus bomb soon unless the newspaper published the full details he wrote. He also wanted to start seeing people wearing some nice Zodiac buttons, and I like how they portrayed that in the movie.
Because who had buttons? Other people had buttons, so he wanted buttons too.
Oh my God.
That's what he said.
Okay, in a letter postmarked June 26, 1970, the Zodiac stated he was upset that he did not see people wearing Zodiac buttons. He wrote, "I shot a man sitting in a parked car with a .38. The Zodiac was possibly referring to the murder of Sergeant Richard Radatic a week earlier on June 19th at 5:25 a.m. Radatic was writing a parking ticket in his squad car when an assailant shot him in the head with a .38 caliber pistol.
What's that?
Radatic died 15 hours later. There's another thing out there where it's like they think that he was just taking credit for shit that was was already happening.
Yeah, he was taking credit for all these people that were there's evidence that he killed 5.
Right.
But he's saying he killed 30.
Yeah, he's just trying to rack up his numbers.
Did you already say that? I'm sorry. You didn't mention that, did you?
No. So the San Francisco Police Department denies the Zodiac was involved. The murder remains unsolved. Okay, there are several other murders that may or may not be linked to the Zodiac, and one of them is the 1966 Riverside murder of Sherry Jo Bates, who was a student of Riverside Community College. She spent the evening at the campus library annex until it closed at 9 p.m. So this is 1966.
Wait, who's this one? Banks? Is that
Sherry Jo Bates. Okay. So this is 1966.
Bates.
This is a couple years before the first murder.
Yeah, because there was...
That they know of.
There was a span, like he took a break.
Yeah.
He wasn't around.
But this was before the first... This was before the first one that I said here. So this was a few years earlier than that. But this one kind of came up and it matched the criteria.
Oh, I haven't heard about this one then.
Yeah. Well, they did kind of... Did you watch any of the History Channel?
Yeah.
They did talk about this one. And this
isn't the Lake Havasu one.
No, this is in Riverside.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry.
All right. She spent the evening at the campus library annex until it closed at 9 p.m. Neighbors reported hearing a scream around 10:30 p.m. Bates was found dead the next morning, a short distance from the library, between 2 abandoned houses slated to be demolished for campus renovations. The wires in her Volkswagen distributor cap had been pulled out. She was brutally beaten and stabbed to death. A man's Timex watch was torn, with a torn wristband, was found nearby. The watch had stopped at 12:24, but police believe the attack occurred much earlier. A month later, the Riverside Police Department and the Riverside Press Enterprise received letters titled "The Confession," where the author claims responsibility to the... So this is like, it's very similar. To the Bates murder, and provides details of the crime that were not released to the public. The author warns that she is not the first and won't be the last. So this is 2.5 years before the Zodiac killings in the future. Okay. So the author warns, blah, blah, blah. In December of 1966, a poem was discovered carved into the bottom side of a desktop in the Riverside City College Library titled "Sick of Living, Unwilling to Die."
Oh. The
poem's language and and I'm going to actually put this one up on the site and on Instagram and Facebook. The poem's language and handwriting resembled that of the Zodiac letters. It was signed with what was assumed to be the initials RH. During the 1978 investigation, Sherwood...
Which, by the way, can I just say, does his handwriting for a guy's handwriting is usually kind of sloppy.
Right.
Does his handwriting seem really meticulous?
Sometimes it does, and then sometimes it seems like it veers off.
Yeah,
it's a little...
But to me,
But the ciphers themselves kind of just remind me of, like, drafting.
Yeah.
Like, any guy that's been in drafting can do the...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, straight lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even I was watching, I'm like, I've never seen a guy's handwriting that nice. Like, it's so legible. No, I know guys that could have written, like, I'll be like, wow, your handwriting's really nice. But his is, it's like meticulous in some of them.
Right.
To me,
Like
it
he
seems like
takes
it's
his
very
time
clean.
writing, like,
Yes. And legible. And yeah, so for him to not be a good speller, it has to be, that just made me think,
It's
like,
like on
in my
purpose.
teacher mode, makes it go, to write that well,
Right.
but be a bad speller doesn't match.
It doesn't.
No.
And then to, like, the whole cipher thing, like, to be... During the 1970 investigation, Sherwood Morrill, California's top question documents examiner. Oh, okay. Expressed... Oh, okay. That's
sense.
a thing?
It made sense.
Expressed his opinion that the poem was written by the Zodiac.
What'd they say?
He
Yes?
thinks, yeah, it matches. Through a tip to Paul Avery, he follows this lead and links this with the Zodiac murders. On March 13th, 1971, 5 months after Avery's article linking the Zodiac to the Riverside murder, the Zodiac mailed a letter to the Los Angeles Times. In the letter, he credited the police, not Avery, for and in the movie, they show Avery. He's the one that, remember, it looks like he goes to some sketchy place. And I was like, don't they have a front door? And he's like, so this meeting. Like, I'm like, why is he doing that?
Yeah.
So this is where he goes to meet his contact.
Okay.
That kind of tips him off that there's this other murder that happened prior. But he credits the police and not Avery. And I think there was like some sort of thing with Avery. Avery's the one that he sent that Halloween card to with another piece of the shirt from Stein. Yeah.
Yeah, he did that to be ornery.
Yeah.
He's a man fucker.
Yeah, he is. So he credits the police instead of Avery for discovering the Riverside activity, but they are only finding the easy ones. That's what he says. There are a hell of a lot more down there.
Oh.
Which is kind of scary. All right, so let's talk about suspects. So one of the main suspects for this case was Arthur Lee Allen. He was also a favorite of Robert Graysmith, who is played by Jake Gyllenhaal in the movie. And the movie is based on his book, The Zodiac. He'd been interviewed by the police early in the investigations and was the subject of several search warrants over a 20-year period. On October 6, 1969, Allen was interviewed by Detective John Lynch of the Vallejo Police Department. Allen had been reported in the vicinity of Lake Barissa.
Barissa.
Okay. Attack against Hartnell and Shepard on September 27th, 1969. He described himself as a scuba diving at Salt Point on that day of the attacks. Allen again came to the police attention in 1971 when his friend Donald Cheney reported to police in Manhattan Beach, California, that Allen had spoken of his desire to... this guy was a nutbag.
Yeah.
He's spoken of his desire to kill people. And he used the name Zodiac and secured a flashlight to a firearm for visibility at night.
Tell me when you're done.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
According to Cheney, his conversation occurred no later than January 1st, 1969. In September 1972, San Francisco police obtained a search warrant for Allen's residence. In 1974, Allen was arrested for sexually assaulting a 12-year-old boy. He pleaded guilty and served 2 years in prison.
At which time, I thought it was 3 years, but there was
a 3-year span.
Yeah, and there was that 3-year break.
Up to 74.
Yeah, and he was in
prison
the whole time.
Right.
So that's why he was like, come on, this shit is matching up.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
But there's so many reasons it's not him.
Right. I mean, he's not my favorite yet.
For one, his DNA didn't match anything that they had.
Well, he didn't have... I don't think they had DNA matched to him, so that you can't say that it didn't match to him.
No, they did match. I
thought they
had
because
DNA.
Because they said he often had other people lick his stamps.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't know.
Yeah, but they did get his DNA. I forgot what it was, but there was like...
Maybe I wrote it because I had a whole shitload written down about him.
I know they got his DNA somehow. They did get his DNA.
Okay.
They got the Zodiac's DNA, and this guy's DNA
Zodiac's.
didn't match
up.
It
didn't match because...
But it wasn't just the stamps. They got actual DNA, and I think it was because...
They had the Zodiac's actual DNA.
Yeah.
But I don't know that they had this guy's actual
No, they
DNA.
did. They got his DNA.
Okay.
They did get his DNA.
Well, you watched probably more of that than I did.
Says most of the evidence for Alan was circumstantial. However, his DNA didn't match up, and none of his handwriting ever matched up with the Zodiac letters.
Oh, he also had cut up animals in his freezer.
So he
and
was a
sex
freak.
toys. He was a freak.
And I can't believe he only did it like a couple of years. This guy was a freak.
Are you done talking about him? Don't move on yet. Tell me when you're done talking about him.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, wait. He also had bombs in his home. Bomb making stuff. And here, his DNA did not match, but it was said he had others like his stamps. His writing didn't match, like you said. Okay, then the rest is me saying something else.
What?
Okay, did you want me to read that cipher?
Yeah.
You want to do it now?
Yeah, go for it. Okay. The one that we read.
I got so excited with that last thing. Because you'd think he's our favorite,
right.
But is he?
No, he's not my favorite.
Okay. It says, I hope you are having lots of fun trying to catch me. That wasn't me on the TV show, which brings up a point about me. I'm not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise, spelled with a C, all the sooner, because I now have enough slaves to work for me everywhere. Everyone else has nothing when they reach paradise, again with the C, so they are afraid of death. I am not afraid because I know that my new life will be an easy one in paradise, death.
So bizarre.
But so what is he saying? You know, they did think he had accomplices or like copycats and stuff. Maybe he trained some other crazies.
They think that like maybe a couple murders were like one guy, and then maybe not they think, like there's one of the theories. That's out that there is that like not all the murders are like Zodiac, because he did have the habit of claiming things that he hadn't done. So this one's interesting. Ted Kaczynski, who's also known as the Unabomber,
yes,
was one of the suspects for a while.
I didn't see that part.
Because he had been living in San Francisco during the time. He was investigated for possible connections to being the Zodiac killer in 1996. He worked in Northern California at the time of the Zodiac murders, and like the Zodiac, had an interest in cryptography and threatened the press into publishing his communications. But then that didn't pan out. Then there was also Bruce Davis, a member of Charles Manson's Manson family cult, and a convicted murderer. He was investigated, but no evidence linking him to the Zodiac murders was discovered. Okay, so I didn't go into all of them. I know there's another one that they highlighted on that.
Are you going to bring up another one?
Yes.
Okay.
There's also Earl Van Best Jr., who I'm going to let you go into detail about.
But that's not the one either.
Okay. And then there's Ross Sullivan.
That's one of them, but that's not the other one. All right,
so I'm going to admit to you, Ross Sullivan's my favorite.
Okay, you go into that one, and then, I got chills because I can't wait to share who my favorite is. Although he's I was torn between him and this other guy, but then the further I went into it, I'm like, no, it is this guy. I don't think I finished all the History Channel stuff, though, so I might be jumping in too soon, but it's okay. Go.
All right, I'm going to lay him out first. So, Ross Sullivan, who has recently become a favorite among the Zodiac sleuth community, and was also spotlighted in the History Channel's Hunt for the Zodiac, which is really interesting. If you want to watch it, it's all on YouTube. He became a person of interest through the possible link between the Zodiac killer and the murder of Sherry Jo Bates in Riverside. Sullivan was a library assistant at the Riverside City College and was suspected by coworkers who all thought he was sketchy.
Yeah.
Who said that he went missing for several days after the murder.
Oh.
Sullivan resembled sketches of the Zodiac.
He really does.
Weight and height, and wore military-style boots and military-style clothing. And here was the weird thing, that he always wore military, fatigues and stuff. Then he disappeared after the murder and then comes back in normal school clothes, which is really weird to people. So, and then The military footprints matched up with those at the Bariza crime scene. Also, the footprint expert said that the footprint belonged to someone that weighed at least 200 pounds. Sylvan was hospitalized multiple times for bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. He was the only one of the suspects that happens to have the Riverside connection. His own brother apparently thought that Ross might be the Zodiac. Ross died in 1977.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And that is where my part of the story. So I'm like...
Oh, and let me just put the disclaimer. Well, I'm saying, no, did it? And Alma's saying, yeah, no. I'm right, you're wrong. She's probably right, and I'm probably wrong, and I know that.
I just think that he's like, because the connections are so strong.
Except for right here.
Okay.
You can have your opinion, but I have mine.
Tell me. I want to hear this.
Okay. Well, first of all, can I go down my list of suspects?
Yes.
Okay.
I know I didn't name all of them.
No, you didn't.
It was just a long list.
But these were interesting. First of all, I want everybody to know that your stepfather... back in the 80s or 70s or 60s or whatever might have a photo that looks just like that sketch, and he might be a douchebag, but it doesn't mean he's a murderer. Okay, so in 2007, Dennis Kaufman, did you hear about that one?
Is that the guy that wrote the book?
No.
Oh, okay.
He made a claim that his stepfather, Jack Torrance.
I did read that one. I left that one out.
Yeah. And he was hardcore, going on all the news and everything, saying that he found, that he went in the attic, he found similar executioner style hood, same with the Zodiac symbol on it. Yes. And as well as a bloody knife, he said. And they all say this, the handwriting styles are the same.
Right.
So he said all that would match up. Somehow, I guess people didn't take him seriously, or not all. There's a lot of these people that come forward and are like, it's my dad. Well, first of all, why would you want your dad to be the Zodiac killer? And anyway, okay.
Yeah, that's such a bizarre thing.
Right.
Not even just the stepdad thing.
This was his actual dad, right?
Okay.
No, that's his stepdad. You're right.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah.
The James Earl Van Best Jr. was a stepdad too. Or no, he was a real dad.
He's his biological dad.
Okay.
Okay, so 7 years later, Gary Stewart wrote a book and has his Hulu special about, what's his dad's name again?
Earl Van Best Jr.
Earl Van Best Jr. Now, this guy, his biological father, Earl, abandoned him when he was 4 weeks old. Probably the best thing that could have happened to him.
Right, him and his mom.
Yeah, his mom says she did not know. She went to work, came home. The dad said, he's not here anymore.
Right.
He left him at an apartment complex or something. I don't know. And the mom later reunites with, she finds Gary. Well, him reuniting with his mom meant so much to him. It went so well that he decides he wants to find out who his biological father is. So he goes on this hunt for his biological father. And then he did not intend for it. He did not intend for it to go down this rabbit hole, he says. But it did at the point where he was given a picture of his dad, the only picture he has of his so-called biological dad, that was given to him from the police station, I believe. He thought it was a driver's license picture. It later turns out to be the mugshot, because his Earl ends up basically raping his mom. She was 14 when they met. She was getting off a school bus, which is another this is his fascination with school buses and kids.
Right.
And anyway, so he went after her and finally hooked her and got pregnant, and her parents kept going, finding her, having him arrested, putting her in juvie, blah, blah, blah. The final ended up, she got pregnant by him, and then they run off together, and she has this baby. He can't handle it. When she goes to work, he puts this little baby in a trunk and closes it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to hear it cry. And so, the end result was at 4 weeks, he ends up getting rid of the baby. And her story is she didn't know anything about it, comes back. She says she left him right away. It turns out she didn't. She left him like a month later, whatever. Read the book. Anyway, trying to do my really quick version. So anyway, he has this photo, and it was like one of those America Most Wanted kind of stories. Right. And they flashed the drawing that everybody sees up on the TV, and he was like, he said he couldn't even speak. I guess he says a sound came out of his mouth.
Right.
And his son came in, and he's like, hey, that's you. And he's like, no, that's my dad. And so that's where he began thinking his dad was the Zodiac killer. Well, like I said, that photo looks like just about any man back in those days.
Right.
So anyway, he went down this whole rabbit hole of investigating and saying that his dad's handwriting looks just like the killer.
Right.
There
Which a lot of people are like, no, it doesn't.
No. Well, and in this documentary, they do have a handwriting specialist that does confirm that could be his handwriting. And then he does his own deciphering and says that his dad's name is in the cipher, and he said he was going to put his name in there, and he did. And it is in there. So, but they also, when they debunked it, they were showing how you can make a whole bunch of names out of it. So he also the fingerprints. So they were showing he had a scar on his thumb, and there's a scar, or an index finger or something. Well, there's a scar in the print. And then they also debunked that, saying, well, no, that's actually the other hand. And if you put them together, they don't match. Right. And many people have scars on their hands. So it's more common than you think.
Right.
And then, what was another thing? There's just a lot. You got to watch the documentary.
So there was, just go ahead, keep going, because I would just want to make a point about the handwriting.
Yeah.
So I was listening to the Generation Y podcast, and they had, what's his name? Mike Mortford. So he's like one of these sleuths that goes, like, he's done a lot of research. He has a website and whatever. And he was kind of talking about it too. He's like, I don't know this guy, but the piece of handwriting that they got from the dad turns out wasn't even the dad's handwriting. It was the guy.
Yes, it's from the marriage certificate.
Yeah,
It was a priest.
Yeah, so he's matching up saying that the priest is
the killer.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Good point. I forgot about that. There's just a whole bunch, but then what I appreciate about the documentary is how they go back and they debunk. They're like, no. Then there's this. Then there's that. So he has them test his DNA against
the DNA.
The DNA. And they're showing how it's smudged and you can't really read it. And he's like, no, because you can see there's these numbers and they're exact, and takes it to it. Listen, here's what I got from it. It is somebody, I don't know why you would want it, other than you want to write this book and make some money. Right. Which the guy isn't hurting for money either. Right. But, all right. I don't know if he wants the attention.
Maybe I think he just it's like trying to make something fit into a narrative where he sees that his dad has this look. And he's like, hey, my dad's the Zodiac. So he's trying to make the story fit this narrative somehow. Right. You know what I mean?
Instead, why wouldn't you want to discredit it so that you could find who your dad really is? Right. Because maybe your dad really is still alive. Who knows? It's sad. And
I kept was a son of a bitch to begin with.
Well, yeah, but we all learn something, maybe. I don't know. Sounds like his mom might have learned. But whatever. It doesn't matter. Sounds like he was a son of a bitch. I mean, he was, if he wasn't the Zodiac killer, he did something. Right. Okay, so then what about...
So who's your favorite? Was this guy your favorite? All right.
Lawrence K, a.k.a. Kane.
Oh, they did him. That's the one that I didn't. Okay. So
That's my favorite.
Is it really?
And
Because
I'll
he
tell
doesn't
you.
look anything like him, though.
No,
the picture
not
of the composite.
not his older picture, but his younger picture when all of it would have happened.
Right.
It looks like him.
Does he?
Mm-hmm. His glasses. Mm-hmm. He has the same glasses. He has the same face. The way the chin is. Mm-hmm. Everything. I was like, no. I thought it was the guy that you like.
Right.
I was with that up until they showed the young him. And I was like, now they keep showing the older him, the chubbier with the double chin. Right. And I'm like, that doesn't even look anything like him.
Right.
But the young version, right. The skinny, it is him. I'm like, but all the evidence was like, oh my God, it's so compelling. Because, okay, so they interviewed this guy with the girl in Lake Tahoe. Mm-hmm. Was that what it is? Lake Tahoe? No. Yeah. Oh, God. Well, let me see if I have her name on here. I'm going to be... Darlene... Oh, wait. Okay, let me just read this. In 1962, he was involved in a car accident that left him brain damage, resulting in his behavior. A psychiatrist said Kane was losing the ability to control self-gratification. Kane can be seen in the cipher. My name is also... Oh, in his name, there were 3 8s that equal 24, and his birthday is 1924.
Interesting.
He was... Darlene Farron had a sister who said Kane would follow her all the time and harass her. In the weeks leading up to her murder, he was following her a lot more and harassing her.
Interesting.
So there was that connection. Mm-hmm. And then Kane best fits the age and physical description. He also lived or worked in all the areas that everything was happening. He either lived or worked or was there for something. Oh my God.
What was that? The dogs make the craziest noises
hilarious.
in their sleep.
Okay, okay, Kathleen Johns, who escaped, was able to give the best face description.
Right.
And was able to pick him out of the police lineup. So when they showed photos, she picked him.
Okay, yeah, and I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Also on the History Channel, did the investigation that brought the Zodiac killer to Albany, New York. They found Ross Sullivan and Kane both have a connection to New York.
Right.
However, it's the Kane guy, I think, was actually in Albany. And I think, and he actually has, they both have cryptography or whatever in their background. Well, you already said that about Sullivan.
That was the most interesting thing is like,
so
how
many.
is it that these suspects like all have so many like similar, like you could just throw so many people in a room and you're not going to find that many similarities with them, like across the country from like California all the way to Albany, New York.
That's so crazy.
That was crazy to me.
Me too, because it's not even like it's a common thing. That's a very unusual specialty. And then Kane was a military man with a rap sheet and trained in code writing, and also lived in Northern California at the time. They found a school photo of Sullivan. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Actually,
you have the school photo? Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, see, to me, that is insane.
Isn't that?
Yeah, he was my favorite until I saw the young photo of this guy. But there's just too much. Listen to this. Okay, 11 years ago, a woman, Deborah Perez, came forward claiming her father... Oh, this is another suspect. I'll get to that one. Hold on. I gotta find the... Okay. So Kane worked at the same building as the nurse. Was it Donna? Donna Lass? Oh. Yeah. Donna Lass.
And I didn't name that person in any of the...
Who, Donna?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well,
because it was loosely, it wasn't one of the
one of
the core murders.
Oh,
so
okay. Well, they went and talked to this guy that lived with Donna and Kane, and he didn't really know what the whole questioning was about, and he said something like, "Yeah, he had a Zodiac on his wall," and they were like, "Wait, what Zodiac? What?" And then they realized, no, like a astrological chart thing.
Okay.
And so, and then that's significant because they realized part of the deciphering, whatever, they realized they started to figure out something about a 13-month calendar and using the day name Dolly and how that all 5 murders were done on the same day, all on Dolly. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah. All 5 murders were done on Dolly. No matter what date and year, it was all on the same day.
Wow.
So basically all on like a Monday or Tuesday or whatever.
So whatever day that landed on.
On the 13-month calendar. He was using a 13-month calendar.
Oh.
Which is, again,
that's pretty crazy.
all about Zodiac.
Right.
Astrology, the whole thing. So this guy that lived with him, he's this old guy they're talking to, was talking about how Donna really trusted people and how weird kind of Cain was. And, he said that his mom lived in San Francisco. And like every so many weeks or whatever, or once a month, he would go to San Francisco. So that brings him
to San Francisco.
And then his.
So does he have a Riverside connection?
I didn't see anything about that one. I didn't look into that. And he was very obsessed with his mother, though.
Oh, that's weird.
Like grossly obsessed. Yeah. Okay, so hold on.
Oedipus obsessed?
I guess maybe. All right. Let me see. This dog is bored with us already.
He's like snoring.
Okay,
Worse
so
than his mom.
Yeah. All right, let's see. 11 years ago, a woman, Deborah Perez, came forward claiming her father was a Guy Ward. Did you talk about him? Hendrickson was the Zodiac killer. She set up on seeing. Oh, yeah. So this woman, I think she's an attorney, too. And she's like, she saw the composite sketch once again.
Right.
And she said she recognized him as her father, and she was her adopted father.
Right.
And that she found cards or letters that were held by the police that were written by her or her father.
Right.
And then...
oh, let's not forget Ted Cruz.
right. She said she had gone along with him to the killings as a child. I mean, knowingly, obviously. Did you hear my mic?
Yeah.
That was weird. She said she would hear gunshots and he would just say it was firecrackers. She was only 7. He kept telling her he was sick and killed many people. He would bring back glasses and like mementos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mementos.
It sounds like piece of candy. Okay. Oh, she says he brought back glasses like the cab driver's glasses that the police said they would investigate, but I guess they didn't. And she's like, I have those glasses. Like she's saying they belong
but has
to.
the FBI like have they? I just feel like there a lot of these are like if they're true, the FBI has been like.
Don't you think they would have been?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with old Larry, old Kane. Kane's my guy.
I'm looking up a picture of him young.
You have to get a young picture though.
Okay, so maybe the young picture, yeah.
Let me see.
Is that him? It says Lawrence Kane.
No, that's that the Gary's dad.
Oh, why does that say Lawrence Kane?
They messed
that's why
up.
I hate the internet. This one?
That's the old picture.
Because that's the one I see, and I'm just like, no, that's
no.
not him. There's this one.
No, there's one. Okay, they found one of him standing outside IHOP, which they were like, okay, how many pictures do people get? How many times do you have to go to IHOP to get a photo taken outside of IHOP? And all it is you can see him standing like next to a truck, and you see the IHOP logo on the, what's the thing? The stump?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The curb?
Yeah.
No?
What did I say his name was?
Lawrence Kane?
Lawrence Kane K. Yeah. How do you spell Lawrence?
Lawrence Olivier.
Lawrence. I have to look it up here.
Lawrence.
Lawrence. I did that. Lawrence. Yeah, but that's the young him.
I don't know. That's the young him?
Mm-hmm.
See, that doesn't look anything like... Do you think?
Huh? Now
Like,
I have to see it next to the black and white, to the drawing.
There's the drawing.
Let me see the drawing. Oh,
I don't know. I'm still liking Sullivan.
I like Sullivan too, but I like this guy's story. Makes more sense to me.
Oh, so on the Sullivan one, I guess his brother was that Riverside girl that got killed, that was murdered. His brother was dating her sister.
Get out.
And he had tried
yes,
to
I remember
he tried to ask
that.
her out, and she like kind of just was like, no.
So he was all butthurt.
So I don't know.
Let me see this guy. Let me see the drawing again. Okay, let me hold him up like this. See, the nose aren't, I don't know. The hair is definitely not. The eyebrows are not. No, there's not even a cliff thing. It looks like this guy more, huh? Mm-hmm. His cheeks are too chubby. I'm not liking the photo. I like the story,
I don't know.
but I'm not liking the photo. No. Yeah, he got better looking as he got older.
You think so?
Look, this picture.
Oh,
well, no,
maybe
this
that.
one.
Oh, okay.
I don't think when they do those sketches, they never look like the guy.
Right.
Never. Like, I'm like, how did they find that guy from that? They fucking never looks the same.
Sometimes they're right on.
No.
She's all.
None that I've seen. They try. One of these days, I just want to see them arrest the black and white photo.
The black and white.
That's what we should do. Put the photo up to our face and have it like they're arresting the actual person. And it actually looks like the sketch. It's probably been done.
And here's another picture of Ross. He's
yeah,
a heavy set, too.
he does.
He's a heavy set guy. And that
the picture does not look like he's a heavy set guy.
Yeah. Well, but in all the descriptions, he's heavy set and he's barrel chested.
Yeah.
And like that one where they got his footprints, again.
It almost.
I know. It said it was like, he had to be somebody that was at least 200 pounds. Mm-hmm. So, I mean. Mm-hmm.
I was torn between Sullivan and this guy. And then right before I was coming here, I was watching a little bit more. I was like, no, I think I like Kane for it.
That's crazy.
And then I wanted to see what you were going to say.
I know. I can't believe, I don't know why we've never really gotten into this one.
I don't know, but it's kind of a fun, like, what do you think? What do you think? Yeah.
Who done it? Well, and obviously, like, it's captivated so many people for years. Like, there's, like, this huge community out there of people that are just, like, trying to figure out who it is and try to decipher these ciphers. And, yeah.
I mean, look at, you and I both watched and read and did the same stuff, but we both have just slightly different, but still. And there's still, we still came up with even more.
Right.
Like, you came up with more, I came up with some. You came up with more.
No, I think you had a lot of good stuff there.
I mean,
yeah, these are crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy that there's not more hauntings surrounding this, though.
Right.
I mean, maybe because they're outside and people aren't really outside doing ghost hunts.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is, Lover's Lane is a bad idea.
Do not do it, kids.
Don't go to Lover's Lane.
Might get your head chopped off by Jason.
Go to a hotel.
Well, you might catch something else there.
If you're going to do it,
go to a hotel.
Anyways.
Sneak in your bedroom.
Yeah. Crazy. So that's our first podcast of 2021.
You know what happened to me one time?
What? Oh my. Is this going to be a Lover's Lane story?
I snuck into this guy's
What?
room. We were really drunk too, all of us. And then I ended up in his room. And then I'm like, is your mom going to come? No, she's at work. She's at work. Okay, you swear? Because I'm not coming in if your mom's going to get... No, she doesn't get off till 5.
Right.
Oh, she came home early.
Oh.
And I am jumping out of the window into rose bushes.
It's usually the guy.
It's me. It was me.
Into a rose bush.
Into a rose bush. He's shoving me out the window.
Oh my God.
And I'm getting stickers on me, a little tipsy, And then I'm like running to find my friend, and I'm cracking up. I'm laughing so hard as I'm running out.
You at least had your clothes on, right?
Yeah, we hadn't gotten that far. We got far, but not
That's
that
hilarious.
far.
How old
Clothes
were you?
were on.
How old were you? Are you going to keep that one a secret?
That's a secret. Old enough for Mom to be involved.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Pretty sure my children don't know that story.
Well, they do now.
I don't know. They're going to be like...
At least one of them.
And then they'll understand why they had locks on their windows and I had the key.
That's funny.
Because their windows were at the front of the house.
Oh, they were, huh?
Yeah. So and they're low. Mm-hmm. But there's rose bushes outside those windows.
For a reason.
And
Mama learned.
Mm-hmm. And I had locks on the windows because we don't want anybody breaking in. Mm-hmm. We also don't want little kids breaking out or sneaking anybody in.
Aren't you glad that
I was a smart mom? Yes.
Yeah. That New Year's was like on a Friday, so like it's Saturday. It feels great.
Mm-hmm. I loved Christmas.
Oh my gosh, how was your Christmas?
It was amazing. It was like the Christmas I always dreamed of. I love going to my sister's. Don't get me wrong, I miss that. But it was so nice just having my kids and their significance. And we had a little Mexican fiesta.
Did you?
No ham or turkey. We had like...
Tamales? Pozole? Menudo?
No.
What? Did you have tacos? Burritos?
We had enchiladas.
Enchiladas.
We had this thing I call a Mexican casserole. And we had this thing that I don't know what Connor and Leslie call it, but it's delicious. It's like in this iron pan with chunks of meat and cheese and peppers, and it was very spicy. It was delicious. But yeah, it's a form of tacos. And we had some frijoles, and it was nice.
Toot toot.
It was it's so nice, you know.
I made pozole for the first time ever. I can't believe like all these years with the kids and everything that I've never made pozole.
How come?
I don't know.
What does it consist of?
You know what? Because one year I tried to make pork tacos and I cooked the pork. I think it was like a pork loin or something. Like I just cooked it too long and it was tough. And I think that kind of scarred me for life to make anything that was pork. I think I'm a good cook.
Yeah, you are. I've had your stuff.
But that was like, I just didn't want to.
Did you use your Instapot?
I did not.
Oh, crazy.
No, we have this huge pot that we cook outside. We have like some burners outside.
No.
Yeah. We use that for the menudo. So I used it for the pozole. And it came out really good. I asked my Tia Yoli for her recipe.
Nice.
And
how long did it take?
It was just a few hours. It was like 3 or 4 hours.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So it did. The kids liked it.
So you had a little Mexicana fiesta too?
And a little bit of New Mexican, because I'm born in New Mexico and I lived there up until like I was 6 years old. But we have my mom's family primarily lives in New Mexico.
New Mexico Mexican food is very different than Arizona Mexican food.
When we moved here when I was very young, and my dad's mom is from Mexico. I did not care for her cooking at all.
Really?
Because I was like so used to the New Mexican style. And my grandma's cooking over there and my mom's cooking. And then when we came over here, I was like, what is this? Like, what is this? It took me a long time. It took me a long time to really, and not only that, but so many people, like Mexican food here is like come from different regions of Mexico, and it's not like New Mexican cooking at all.
No. And if you go to a little hole in the wall that's like family owned and have that Mexican food, it's like, oh yeah, that's Mexican food. Or you can go to like a chain like Garcia's and have Mexican food.
Right. Right.
It's just like Mexican food.
Yeah. But New Mexican food.
New Mexican food, that's a whole new twist.
I mean, that is... And my Tia Yoli's pozole is not like my mom's pozole.
Interesting.
It's 2 different kind of recipes. My mom's pozole is just red chili. My tia's pozole literally has pato sauce in it. But it's good. It is so good. It was so good.
Girl. Okay, can I just say, listen, I went to Indianapolis for a conference, right? For community legal services. And there's this huge spread, and they've got all these different kinds of foods, and they have Mexican food. And I'm like, this should be interesting. And it was. Like, I'm like, what is that? Those are quesadillas, everybody's saying. And I'm like, nope. I don't know what those are, but those are not quesadillas. Like, do you people know what Mexican food is? I don't know what that is. And then they had, I think they were trying to make chulupes. Chalupas, yeah. And I don't even know how to say it. It's the stuffy things, right?
Yeah.
And, but I think that's what they were calling the quesadillas.
Or empanadas?
No, because they were stuffed. Are empanadas stuffed? I think because that's what they were calling the quesadillas. They were these little triangles. And they were like used cornmeal or something.
Really?
Anyway, they were not quesadillas.
Anyways, I also made bizcochitos, which is a totally
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I can't believe as many times as you went out. I know
To
you know
Mexico?
what Blake's is.
I mean, to New Mexico?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, Blake's, my place.
Okay. Damn it. I can't believe I didn't save you any. I'm going to make some.
Tell me what it is.
It's just like, I want to say sugar cookie, but not a sugar cookie.
Oh.
It's almost like a snickerdoodle, but it's more of a...
I have heard of them.
It's, yeah.
Pretty
and
sure
it's
I
got
haven't had
anise. It's got the spice anise in it and cinnamon and sugar on the top.
Oh, yummy.
It's really, really good.
Yummy.
It's
but I
really
haven't
good.
had one. I don't think.
I'm trying to think of what else. It's just a very simple recipe. Like with lard.
The best of it. I was watching this special. I had no idea there's so many different ways to make tortillas. Did you? There is.
Know one way. What?
There is.
What?
Yes, I was watching this special. They went to Mexico and then like right off the border here. They were like Texas and off the border there. Like, and there's different.
Are you talking about like gorditas and then
No.
like the really thin ones and then
Just tortillas.
flour tortillas?
There's different lards. Make them different ways and make them taste different.
Really?
So like flour, water, vegetable, or salt, and then like if you just use not vegetable lard, what is it?
Lard, manteca.
Just lard, yeah. And then some use butter. Some use.
That really? Butter?
Some use. What else were they using?
I like butter on my tortilla.
Yeah, me too.
Straight off the
I could just like
stove.
OD on tortillas. And I have a great recipe. It's called flour, water, lard, salt. I have it. Anyway, and then they were doing the whole. There's corn tortillas. There's these, but the difference is the different fat that they put into it,
Interesting.
and it makes it taste different.
My mom stopped using lard because when we were younger, they found out my brother was diabetic when he was like 4 years old. So then my mom this was her way of making it a little bit more healthy. So she started just using like vegetable oil. And they keep so much longer. Because when you're using lard, you have to kind of eat them right away. Otherwise, they get kind of hard. The vegetable oil ones last forever.
So no lard. Vegetable
Not that they
oil.
last forever, because as
They
soon as
last
they're made, they're
longer.
gone.
And there's nothing like a homemade one. Well, wait. Yes, there is. I think it's at Costco. They sell, and then you heat them up on your thing and cook them.
Are those good?
They taste like homemade.
Really?
me.
I've seen them and wondered, but I've never tried them.
But to me, they do.
The closest I've come to cheating is when the kids were small. I used to use this stuff, and it's actually made by Quaker. It's called harina preparada, and they used to have it at Fry's, but they don't anymore. And you just add water, so it's like already the lard's.
Oh, it's that stuff that I saw you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That stuff's
really
pretty good too.
Anyways, I just got a recipe not that long ago, homemade, the best recipe. It tastes like my mom's, but it's actually measured.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Wait.
I wasn't given this gift.
Have you made tamales?
Yes. We made them last year and the year before. Well, yeah.
I have
But
not.
we didn't do it this year.
But I would like to learn.
Maybe we should make them together.
Shall we have a tamale party?
Yes, we should.
Okay.
Let's do it.
We'll make tamales, and then I'll teach you how to make a patizza.
Yes. You show me how to make a patizza.
A patizza.
I like how you say that with your shoulders.
A patizza. Okay.
All right, you guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Make the best of it.
I think each one I'm going to sing on now. Happy New Year. You are welcome.
I'm gonna start measuring our ratings. Like how many listens since you started singing.
Are we losing listeners? Okay.
All right, you guys. Have a good night. Thank you guys for listening. I'm Alma.
I'm Carlene.